As a Filipino, it is my desire for me to see the country to propel in a new direction. And that's actually the primary motivation, and not into being rich, because if I want to be rich, I will basically take another path, maybe in construction, maybe in something else. But this is something like a passion project already.
I'm here with Dexter. I'd like to start with asking your background and how you ended up starting your own space tech company, which you don't see. I don't think you see many of them in the Philippines, right?
When I entered college, around my third year in college, I was exposed to the concept of entrepreneurial mindsetting. From there, I was able to appreciate that there are a lot of things that you can do about certain problems in the society, and maybe come up with solutions about it. And eventually, during our product conceptualization stage, because in college, instead of going into internship, we were told to create our own startups and run it. Initially, our idea is to create a drink out of different herbal products, including apple. Then eventually, we decided to explore the depths of food processing until we came up with an idea that maybe we can utilize these advanced food technologies in order to craft food for space.
Oh, I see. So when was this?
About 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Then we exited that first startup via liquidation. I decided to check out different industries. Then eventually, an idea came into my mind. My initial idea is to explore if algae could be used into, or could be turned into, a jet fuel. So, we tried developing it, we tried designing our fuselage. We already have this idea that it will be very hard to pull off because we don't have any infrastructures in the Philippines, unlike other countries. So, I'm very much doubtful about it, but I kept on doing it. So we landed our first angel investment, and it failed due to certain reasons. We never received the entire funding. From that, we have the delays of development.
Right.
So we already started designing. We just developed things. We just tried to come up with ideas and live a startup life. So I moved out of my house because my mom is angry at me. Because as an Asian mom, he doesn't like the idea. So COVID came 2020. We actually had an emergency funding from a foreign individual. From that funding, decided to prototype our biofuel machinery. Weeks after that, I went into a breakup with my first partner. During that period of time, we are already trying our best to build international relations. We acknowledge our need of doing it, because without collaboration with the international community and trying to do it on our own, we will not achieve many things at all. So we tried to humble ourselves. We tried to lower down ourselves and tell them that, hey, we are doing this stuff, maybe you can help us, and try to provide mentorship. Then as of this moment, it still became very beneficial for us, because if we need something, we have people from different parts of the world that we can ask about their perspective on such things.
Okay. So now, are you still developing? And
yes, we are actually planning to test our injectors, which is very expensive. Injector system is basically a small unit in the engine of a rocket, which is very critical for us to pull off. For example, just for the audience to understand, one injector system, when we produced it initially, a 3D printed version of it cost us around 3,000 pesos for a piece. We tested it, everything was destroyed, and that's the goal of it. We need to destroy it so that we can know the limits.
So you have to keep trying.
Yes.
And investing.
Then we decided to produce another version, 2021, and due to the lack of expertise in manufacturing in the Philippines, it failed due to the precision that we need for the fabrication of it. Then we produced it another time with our partner fabrication, and it failed again. Fast forward to 2023, we are preparing for our first test. If we succeed, this current version cost us 9,289 per piece. And if we succeed in testing it, We need to produce 19 pieces of it.
You're still sticking with algae, right? Or are you?
We are setting it aside because as of this moment, we don't have any further collaborations with the Polytechnic University of the Philippines.
Okay. So what's special about the injector you're
Well,
creating?
it being the first Filipino-made injector, recently the Philippine Space Agency is very much collaborative with us. They sourced out a possible supplier for RP1 in order for us to proceed with our developments. And that's a very good advancement because they are more equipped than us. And before, when we are trying to work with them, they're very much reserved about it. And to be honest, due to the intensity of what we're trying to do, October last year, I wrote an entire law proposal just to regulate the Philippine space industry. And it has been supported by one senator and introduced it to PhilSA. We decided to constantly collaborate with the government, constantly update them with our progress, our mishaps, challenges, etc., because I personally think that in order for the Philippines to progress as a nation, we need to bridge the gap between the academia, the industry, and the government.
Of course.
And that's something that I think will take years still for us to learn.
But how do you think it would change the nation if you actually create this rocket that flies from using RP1?
Well, everything will be cheaper because the labor cost here is actually cheaper than other countries.
But
other than that, the development costs are way cheaper actually than other countries.
Right. I see. Okay, that makes
Cheaper and a bit strategic as well.
Right.
Especially with regards to defense.
Right. I see. How much investment do you get? Are you venture backed or is it?
No, angel backed.
Angel backed.
Yeah, so we have so much expenses as of this moment, to be honest.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, there are a lot of R&Ds and we are on average spending 700 USD. You will just, scratch your head. But we are not venture backed. And we try to do it and introduce our concepts to different investors across the globe. But, they are very much doubtful about the capacity of Filipinos to pull it off because we don't have a track record and we understand that. And we are very much appreciative of those who are behind us. And as a matter of fact, most of my professional fees will just go back to our developments in order for us to survive. Because this is like a commitment, especially my commitment, and we cannot just stop and tell them that we cannot do this anymore.
Right. So
and we don't have a lot of experts here. We only have aeronautical engineering, which is basically engineers for airplanes. But some of them are already venturing into solid rockets, model rockets, which is a good advancement already. So my primary goal here is to not just the cheesy part of it, of providing this advancement for the Philippines. As a Filipino, it is my desire for me to see the country to propel in a new direction. And that's actually the primary motivation, and not into being rich, because if I want to be rich, I will basically take another path, maybe in construction, maybe in something else. But this is something like a passion project already, because it took so much of my life already, even though I'm still young. But I rarely party. I don't celebrate birthdays. I don't celebrate Christmas with friends. I don't have enough friends. That's how lonely life could be if you're pursuing a passion project.
Okay. But so I guess in the future you are thinking of getting invested by...
Oh yeah, for sure. But as of this moment, we need to prove ourselves.
Okay, I see.
That's the reason why we need to constantly work on different individuals, different experts from different countries, because we are honest that we cannot pull it off if we will try to do it on ourselves, on our own rather. So that's the reason why. But hopefully in the future.
Oh wow, okay.
If I will not give up and constantly try to pull it off, eventually we will be successful. But I'm still afraid of failing.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. And it can be very hurtful at times to consider the possible failures every test. Because even though it will provide you data, it will not provide you enough money to proceed with another test. And it can be very expensive.
Do you think there are more people in the Philippines that are interested in entrepreneurship now? Is the startup ecosystem developing or?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You think so?
There are a lot of fintech startups, agri startups, but we are not that keen in exploring deep technology startups. Unlike your country, unlike Singapore, unlike India, we are very much into digitalization.
Yeah. So are you the only person who's actually in this like space for as a startup, or is it
There are few satellite startups, as far as what I know.
in the Philippines? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But they are very few.
Very
And I'm not sure if they are still developing.
I mean, what are your like future goals for this?
We don't want to go to the moon or Mars yet.
Okay.
We just want to bring Filipinos to space. Not
space.
not a Filipino astronaut, but Filipino items to space.
Okay.
That's the initial goal.
Do you have any like entrepreneur you aspire or?
Oh, for sure. Here locally, I think the Ayalas, the oldest family business in the Philippines, and they started way back 1700s, I think, and they are very much into advanced technologies.
Okay.
So they are currently venturing into EVs.
Really?
Renewable fuels. Yeah, they are my local inspirations because I want this organization to survive for hundreds of years. My role model, and outside the country, for sure, it's Elon Musk. Just imagine investing your own money into startups that probably won't work.
And he's been working for years, right?
Yes. And I think that's the model that I follow, of constantly updating the people about what we're trying to do, and constantly being honest if we will have delays. Because without this specific set of transparency, you will not be able to help them understand that what you're trying to do is not for the short term.
Do you have any like specific person you would like to connect?
Japan is one of my model countries, aside from Singapore and Switzerland. I want to learn from JAXA. Maybe someday be able to visit their facilities and watch them build things. But I know that it will not be possible in the short term. And just talk about stuff, and maybe they can check what we do.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was very inspiring. It was very nice to have you. Thank you so much, Dexter. Thanks, Dexter.